Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. We are from Group 7, Category 3. Today we will present about the analysis and comparison of Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance 2021 on Sime Darby Property Berhad and Sunway Berhad. Right. This is our group members. Me, myself, Nur Amshah Hilman bin Nur Azam Effendi, and my metric number is 1200779, and Fauzah binti Uthman, Ainin Sofia binti Saudi, and the last one is Nurul Fazlin binti Muhammad Jalaluddin. These are the contents and topics that we will discuss further in this presentation. The first one is the introduction, component background, analysis principle A, analysis of principle B, and non-compliance issues and solutions, and the last one is conclusion. My name is Nur Amshah Ilman, and I will present about the introduction and the component background. So for introduction, the MCCG 2021 is a guide that assists companies in developing a corporate governance framework that can promote business welfare and achieve long-term shareholder value. The MCCG provides best practices for corporate governance and also includes best practices for meeting the interests of other stakeholders. The purpose of this paper is to identify any differences between the two companies' practices and their compliance with the MCCG 2021. There are three main principles of MCCG, but the comparison only emphasizes on Principle A, board leadership and effectiveness, and Principle B, effective audit and risk management. There are two companies that we will analyze based on the effectiveness of corporate governance, which are Sam Darby and Sunway Property. Sam Darby is a Malaysian investment holding company with six business segments consisting of plantation, motor, utility, energy, real estate, and industrial. Its crude palm oil plantation cover 5% of the total global crude palm oil. The company is best known for its crude palm oil plantation as the world's largest producer. Sam Darby is also involved in the motoring industry by being a distributor of luxury cars such as Porsche, Rolls-Royce, and BMW, specifically for countries located in Asia-Pacific region, which includes Southeast Asia and East Asia regions. In 1980, Sam Darby was listed on the Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange. Recently, in 2020, the company invested around 300 million in Tesco Malaysia as a big step towards diversifying its investment portfolio. Right. Moving on to Sunway Property. Sunway Property was established in 1974 under the Sunway Group as a property construction company. The company is used to being part of construction of residential, commercial, and retail properties. The company is recognized as a leading multinational company in Malaysia with more than 50 business locations worldwide with strong participation in 12 industries. The property was built under the direction of Sunway Design and Development Architecture (SDTA) as a design principle to achieve sustainability, health, safety, and innovative mobility. And the last one, Sunway Property has been awarded as one of Malaysia's leading company in property development.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ainin Sofia binti Saudi. My matric number is 1200676. And now let's dive into our contents of our reports, which is the principle A. So now let us look at the first point, which is 1.0, which is the objective is to ensure that the board of a company gets to complete their responsibility, which is to meet their company's goals and objectives. And they can achieve this by making sure that their position of chairman and CEO is not the same person. So in Sime Darby, we can see that they separate their CEO and chairman, which is Dato Jeffrey Salim Davidson and Tan Sri Samsudin Osman. And for Sunway Property, they also segregate their chairman and CEO, which is Tan Sri Dato Seri FRJ Frichia Fo Ling Au and Evan Chia Yen Shin. Next is 3.0, which is the objective is to ensure that the board is dedicated to upholding a positive company culture that fosters honesty, openness, and justice, as well as to encouraging ethical behavior in business. So in Sime Darby, their policy is to ensure that the board and management are dedicated to consistently advancing a strong corporate governance culture inside the company. While Sunway Property, the policy is to guarantee adherence to internal controls and applicable legislation. The group has established and documented internal policies, standards, and procedures as part of its internal control system and guidelines. After that is 5.0, which talks about how the company should consider a variety of viewpoints and ideas while making decisions that are impartial and in the company's best interest. And they can do this by making sure that their independent director are more than half of their directors. So in Sime Darby, their illustration shows that their board of directors comprises of 58% independent directors, which is more than half of the board total. And Sunway Property, they also state that more half of their directors are comprised of independent directors, which is 7 out of 10. Last but not least is 6.0, which talks about the stakeholders should have the ability to express opinions regarding the board's overall efficiency as well as that of individual directors. So in Sime Darby, the board reviews and evaluates the performance of the board, its committees, and individual directors and members of its boards at Sime Darby Property through the NRC. And Sunway Property, the Institute of Corporate Directors Malaysia (ICDM) was chosen by the board to conduct an impartial external assessment of the boards and the directors' effectiveness for the 2021 fiscal year.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Fazim binti Muhammad Jalaluddin. My number matrix 1200756. I would like to continue the presentation in Principle A, which is Practice 7.0, Remuneration. In this practice, we want to know the level and composition of remuneration of director and senior management take into account the company desire to attract and retain the right talent in the board and senior management to drive the company long-term objective. As we know, Darby Property and Sunway Property, both of the company apply this practice in their organization. For Darby, the board has delegated to the remuneration committee to set the principle, parameter, and governance framework relating to the group remuneration matters. In summary, the remuneration committee has the right to rules the group remuneration matters. As for Sunway Property, to attract and retain executive director and senior management, it is important to have fair and competitive remuneration such as skills, expertise, and another. Next, practice 8.0. We want to know whether stakeholders are able to assess the remuneration of director and senior management in commensurate with their individual performance, taking into consideration the company performance. For the Darby, the remuneration committee and the boards are of the view that disclosure on a name basis of top 5 senior management remuneration component in band of 50,000 ringgit Malaysia, which will give this advantage to the group. For Sunway Property, the practice 8.2 does not apply, and they adopted practice 8.3, which is company are encouraged to full disclose the detailed remuneration of each members. The first practice in Principle B, which is Practice 9.0. In this practice, we want to know there is an effective and independent audit committee in company and organization. First, we take a look at the Darby. The need to uphold independence known of audit committee. Darby members are former key audit partner within the period 3 years. The audit committee manage the relationship with external auditor on behalf of the board. Next, we take a look at the Sunway property. A minimum 3 years cooling off period before nominated as member or appointed as member of audit committee. The selection of audit committee based on their credential and expertise. The external auditor will be alternate once every 7 years. As we know, this board company apply this principle on their organization. That's all from me. Thank you. Next, another part in the practice, principle B is risk management and internal control framework. That both companies, Darby and Sunway, comply all the practice in this part, include the startup practice. For intended outcome, 10.0, they discuss how board of the company control risk and internal control to achieve their objective or their target. Both company they appoint independent director in the making decision in the risk management and internal control framework. For Sendabi, the risk management community RMC, the board of director analysis that the risk management framework and produce to the ensure it still applicable for the company. For Sunway proposed the involvement of the KPMG management and risk consolidation Sidi Berhad in the group compliance with the all relevant law and regulation, internal requirement, policy and limit and operation guidelines and the procedure in the company to make sure that the company can maintain their risk, can reduce their risk and maintain the internal control and control the risk and internal control. Okay. For 11.0, I discuss how company have efficient government through the internal audit function. This intended outcome they have a practice they show how internal audit function in the company and also what is the criteria the internal audit. Okay, for Sendabi, the chief insurance officer then perform the predictive evaluation review of the group's process of controlling audit activities, managing the risk as specific in the work scope, then they report it to the audit community. And for Sunway, the group internal audit department has made sure the critical risk management corrective measure has been carried out with the help of the follow-up audits in the internal audit plan for 2022. And Sendabi and Sunway have internal audit which has qualification and experience in this audit field. And there are also no relationship with family, close friend, and also that do not violate the code of ethics. Next, non-compliant issue and solution. For non-compliant issue, Sendabi and Sunway do not comply with practice 5.3 and 8.2 because they have an own strategy and they use the startup strategy only. Okay, for practice 5.3, Sendabi and Sunway use a startup strategy which is practice 5.4 that required the independent director for both company for 9 years. And for practice 8.2, Sunway do not apply with this practice, but they adopt the startup practice which is practice 8.3. But SMW do not comply with this practice. Also, they do not adopt the startup practice which is practice 8.3 because they are own strategy which is the Sendabi believe that the senior management senior of the 15,000 ringgit may harm the Saint Darby, because Saint Darby if is effective approach, the board ensure that the top management composition is appropriate for their function, talents, and also the degree of accountability, and also the amount of the responsibility.
Okay, right. And the last one, for conclusion, in conclusion, Sunway Property and Sam Darby Berhad have great aspirations to comply with MCCG 2021 guidelines. Both companies can be seen to have developed their audit committee and risk management or internal control frameworks, which is a great commitment to implement the practices recommended by MCCG 2021. That's all from us. Thank you for listening. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.